Hey everyone, welcome back to Daily Diabetics. This week's theme, we are doing bad habits as a type 1 diabetic, and let me tell you, I'm a little bit embarrassed to be sharing these with you guys, but I feel like it's a good theme just because, especially for newly diabetics out there watching our videos, it's good for them to know that not everyone is following every single rule perfectly, because that can be really overwhelming. I wrote them down in my notebook. So some of these are more recent habits that I've developed over the quarantine just because I'm getting really lazy. The first one I wrote is that I'll start my bolus after I've already eaten half the meal, or I'll do it after. I don't do pre-bolusing. I don't do it even right before I'm eating. And it's bad too, because literally I'm so lazy for not doing it, because all I have to do is push buttons on a pump. It would be different if I had to do shots and I had to draw up the insulin and I just didn't want to take the shot and get all it ready. No, all I have to do is press a few buttons. Girl, you are lazy. The next one I wrote down is overeating for lows and not counting how many carbs it was. So I cannot tell you the last time I was like, oh, I need 15 grams of carbs for my low blood sugar. No. I just go in and eat. Normally, a granola bar that I'll eat is 17 carbs, and normally, I figured out what really works for me anyways, but sometimes you have the lows, and I'm sure most of you know what I'm talking about, where you feel so just nasty. You feel like you just need to eat everything and do anything in your power to get rid of this feeling. The next one I have, I'm sure, is very common also, and that's just ignoring high blood sugar and not being as attentive to my blood sugar as I should be. So if I'm 200, I will just leave it there most of the time. I won't be oh, I should probably take a correction. I just leave it there. And if I would start taking corrections, my A1C could probably be very, very good. But once again, I'm just very lazy recently, so that's what I'm doing. And then going along with that, if I am higher, I should probably be drinking more water, and normally I don't do that, and my parents always remind me to drink water, and I just don't do the greatest at that. I don't always check for ketones when I'm above 300. I will sometimes if I start to feel like I have ketones, and normally that's not very often, but I don't check every single time I'm above 300, because that's just, it's not you're gonna get ketones every time. I feel that's really uncommon. I don't know, don't take my advice. These are my bad habits, not my good ones. Okay, the next one I have is never changing my Lancet or clean my finger before I test my blood sugar. And this isn't as big of a problem now just because I have the Dexcom G6, so I don't really have to calibrate or anything. The only time I really check is if I'm having a really, really low blood sugar or a really, really high one, and I just want to be sure if the Dexcom is accurate or not. But I can't tell you the last time I changed my Lancet. Next, we are going to talk about never throwing away trash, diabetes trash. When you have diabetes, you have so much trash. You have your test strips. This isn't as big of a problem like I just explained. I don't test my blood sugar as much now, but when I used to have those things all over. In my bag at the bottom, there would be probably 50 strips. I would just leave them in there. I'd throw them in there after. Instead of, there's trash can right there, I just throw them in the bag. Why? Why? I can't explain, but that's just what happens. And then your supplies after you change your pump. I used to just leave those on my desk. I would have 3 site changes just on my desk piled up. But I've been trying to keep my room a little bit cleaner now, and I normally it's just clothes everywhere when my room's a mess. But I used to, a few years ago, have trash all over my desk from my site changes and everything. Especially the needle caps. I would leave those little pen needles in the lids. I would just leave those out everywhere, so that was great. Going along with being high with high blood sugar, buddy's barky. But something I tend to do sometimes is I get impatient and I don't want to wait for it to come down, and so I will just overstack my insulin doses and just override the pump. It'll say that it doesn't want to give me anything for the high blood sugar because I just took a correction, but then I override it and take more because I just want it to come down, and then I end up crashing low. So don't do that. Just wait. And don't let it get that high in the first place. Mental note. The last thing I want to talk about that is kind of annoying just because it's annoying for me and also it annoys my parents is I wait until late at night to change both my pump and my Dexcom. The pump doesn't really affect them, but when I change my Dexcom late at night, they don't get data and they're trying to go to bed and they don't have data for 2 hours. That's frustrating for them because if I have low blood sugar throughout the night, they won't be alerted on their phones and stuff. So I've been doing better about that recently over the summer when I don't have school, but when I have school and doing homework and practices and events after school, it's just really, I push everything off. So there's that. Those are all my habits, so hopefully you don't look at me like a terrible diabetic. I promise I try my best most of the time, but yeah, hopefully you guys could relate to this video. Comment down below your bad habits as a type 1 diabetic so I don't feel as alone. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. We post new videos every single day, and I will see you next Thursday with a brand new video. Bye guys!